Charles from Charles Arnaz World checking in. Listen, we about to get into this video from No Jumper. My man Van Lathan, he visited No Jumper today and had a little discussion with Adam 12. Let's go ahead and check it out, and I'm gonna come back with my reaction.
It's an Adamvention that's happening right now.
I'm doing better than ever.
How are you doing better than ever, Adam?
Mentally, I feel strong. I feel fortified.
Right.
On the mic, doing what I was born to do, I feel more confident and full of vigor than I've ever felt before.
Right.
I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good. Adam, I'm concerned about you, bro. I'm concerned that, like, you really been on some white devil lately, man.
Really?
Whoa.
What moments in the No Jumper cinematic universe got you to that conclusion?
See, No Jumper cinematic universe. I actually feel
He said, "This is funny."
like I came up with that because, like, I feel like I was so into the No Jumper verse, the No Jumper cinematic universe, because you got your whole multiverse. But
you're right.
Probably not true.
No, but there was a moment where I realized that, like, Andrew Schultz was very invested in what was going on here, and then there was a moment where I realized you were really paying attention, but to like a way more serious level than what Andrew Schultz
every
knew.
clip, every interview during the height of the Jumperverse, because really the Jumperverse now is much like the MCU, because the MCU started and it built their whole thing up. Then they had Avengers Endgame, where everyone fought. And then some people left the MCU, and some people, now we got new heroes.
For the record, never seen a single Marvel film ever.
Well, I could tell you ain't got no imagination. You all up. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like you would have that type of fun. That's too
I hate those movies. I've tried to watch them a few times. I don't get it.
That's probably too wholesome fun for you. You probably out there, you want to.
No, he right. No, he right though. I can't get into that Marvel stuff either. I gotta go with the white man on this one, man.
Out there with 3 legs, and that's probably your idea of fun.
I can't.
Well, so what's a real movie then?
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies.
You don't watch a lot of movies. Okay,
really
so like I said,
I like documentaries.
You like a different type of fun.
Yeah. It needs to be real for me to get invested in it.
Like you like like going down. You probably like tonight, Leonard. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put flashlights on our head, and we're gonna get all on K, and we're gonna go down to Skid Row and just like chill around and see what we can see and vlog about it. That's
I have very low risk tolerance at this point in my life. I would never do something like that.
Yeah. Let me come back to the white devil.
They'll eat me alive down
there.
So
this is my thing, bro.
Oh, step. Get the commercials out of the way, y'all. Hold on a second.
Right, and the cool white boy was working. Now I'm looking at you, and it seems like you wilding a little bit, bro.
But what got you to that conclusion?
So a couple of things. Number one, the Ruger thing was bad, bro. That was bad. How did he go?
He's a grimy GD, that one.
You throwing out people's gangs? This is what I'm talking about.
I got to keep it 1,000.
This is the new Adam where you gang banging and you calling.
No. I'm not gang banging.
Calling out, saying he's a grimy GD is a little bit. Why?
He knows.
I know, but why? When he was here and he said straight up, for somebody that comes from Chicago, because we did hip hop homicides and I was there in Chicago seeing how things go. When he said he did not want to talk about beef, why did you press him? It almost looked like you wanted.
Did you watch the interview?
I did watch the whole thing.
Right. How many gang-related or op-related questions do you really feel like I asked during that?
Not that many.
Yeah, like 1 or 2.
But he asked for 0, so why couldn't you oblige him?
Right, that's insane. If I had actually took him at his word right there, I would have probably just said, like, all right, you could just drive back to Vegas and not do this interview. Because Lil Durk, one of the biggest rappers, definitely the biggest rapper of Chicago, but one of the biggest rappers in America, had just done Academics' podcast, one of the bigger hip-hop podcasts, and in that, one of the premier questions that got clipped and put on Act's YouTube channel was, why or how did you feel about Kanye doing this album and putting you and Ruga on the same thing, inviting you to the same party, the same show, etc. And Lil Durk had like a pretty involved answer where he
that thumbs up button, guys. That thumbs up button. Get a chance.
Actually acknowledged Ruga by name for I think maybe the first time ever, or at least for in many, many years. And to me, that was just an obvious question I had to ask Ruga. And we actually had a pretty decent conversation about that because that is just like the most obvious thing that you would ever ask Ruga. And even Ak hit me up after like laughing, saying like, did Ruga seriously think you weren't going to ask that question? Because he said that he would have based the entire interview around that question because it's such an obvious question. So my thing is like, if you're going to be someone like Ruga, who literally is dissing Lil Durk's friends and family members on every single song, I mean, not every song, but probably more than 50% of the songs, you can't seriously think that you're going to come in and do an interview and not get asked about the.
It's like hip hop now is like just attack music. It's just attacking your enemies to a melody now. That's all it is. It's not even fun no more.
Most high-profile rapper from Chicago who just discussed you at length on another very, very big hip-hop podcast. Now, the thing that I fucked up is that Ruga pulled me aside and had that conversation with me of saying, like, I don't know if I really like that episode. But his reason for saying that he didn't like it was he just said he felt like maybe his energy wasn't on point. He didn't say, you asked me too many op-related questions. That narrative started later. Now, what I should have said in that moment was like, okay, I'm going to hit you back because I thought that it was a really good interview and I think that we should drop it. What I did instead was I forgot and I just dropped it anyway because to me, I like the interview was good and there was just almost nothing that narrative, the op narrative,
Stop
that caught me by surprise.
Adam.
He didn't say that to me beforehand. And when you watch it, I barely asked him about anything. It would not have even made sense for him to say that was the reason he didn't want it to drop.
So listen, this is why it's the white devil Adam 22. This is why. What you just gave right there is a completely salient, like, obviously
logical response.
Mm-hmm. But you left some things out.
You know what we call that? We call that standing on business.
There you go. Standing on business. Standing on business. Look at you.
Oh my God.
See?
Standing on business.
Standing on business now is what you're doing. Okay. But let me
Stood on it.
Let me ask you a question. Did Ruga, prior to the interview, tell you that he didn't want to talk about
I don't like when white people use slang. I'm sorry.
that? Yes or no?
He did briefly say that.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't. I had 10 op-related questions that I did not ask him because he said that. But the Lil Durk one was like, you got to ask that one.
But hold on, though. So that's the thing. The thing is this. Everything that you just said, as somebody who interviews people all the time, people in media, nobody's going to disagree with you. That's like, do you know how many interviews have been pitched to me and somebody has said, either it be a label person or a PR person, hey, don't ask about this? And I'll say, okay, well, I don't need to have this person on. Like, if I can't ask about that, if you're going to come on here and I can't ask about that, I don't need to have this person on. Gets a little devilish when you say that you won't do it, and then you get them on the camera and you ask them about it.
Anyway.
He did not specifically say he didn't want to talk about that. He just said
that's what he says.
He's a liar. He did not say that he wanted me to do an interview that was entirely free of any beef-related questions. He just said that he didn't want to make the whole interview like that. So for anyone, I challenge everybody watching this to go watch it and tell me if you think that was an overtly beef-based interview. So, it might have been the interview, the least beef-related interview that Ruga has ever done in his life. In fact, I would bet money that it was the least beef-related, op-related interview he's ever done in his life.
So if you're saying straight up that he's lying, then that's a different thing. But he says, hey, I didn't want, so there's 2 points. He says, hey, didn't want to talk about any beef. Then he says,
he never said he didn't want to talk about any beef. He just said, I don't want to do a ton of those questions.
Okay.
So I asked him about the most mainstream, well-known beef that he has addressed 10,000 times in songs.
After that, you conveniently forgot.
Right.
That's not even halfway horns. It's like 5-inch horns.
I should have called him and told him, yo, I'm dropping it anyway.
Okay. What's with
same end result?
What's with the new bravado? You feel different? You feel different.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all, if y'all want to watch the rest of the interview, you can. It's on YouTube. It's on No Jumper. Van Lathan calls Adam White Devil. Anyway, my opinion, my reaction on this whole thing, I think that well, Van, I know Van. I remember when Van didn't have a car. I used to give Van rides when we used to work at TMZ. I worked for another company. Van was a field guy. He started off as a tour bus guy in Hollywood for the TMZ tour bus, and then he advanced and started moving his way up the TMZ ladder. And the whole thing with Kanye kind of blew him up. But that's my boy Van. I haven't talked to him in years, but I'm so proud of him doing his thing, man. But anyway, him checking Adam, man, this is interesting. That I don't know, man. I really think it's I don't know something about these people, man. They seem like culture vultures, like Vlad and the Adam 112s, Adam 112, Adam 22, I guess his name is. But I mean, it's obvious what it is. They just stirring up beef because they get on these podcasts. They stir up beef amongst these rappers that come from real circumstances, and some of them still dealing with real circumstances coming from where they come from. And when you go on these podcasts, everybody watch these podcasts, man. Especially in the hood, especially around here in LA. You go to any barbershop, you'll see No Jumper on, or Bomb First, or Say Cheese, or what's the other one? Got the other one. But Vlad and all that stuff, that's all they watch. So, this is like the hood newspaper right now, these podcasts, especially the hip hop stuff. So I don't know. What y'all think, man? Leave your comments and subscribe to Cause as well.